Hello, this is John from the Han Informer, and today I have special guests, the crew from VFX, Doug and Pat.
Sally, Psycho, Splits of the Clown.
Yes, lots of awesome products. And
Hi.
the voice changer back there, right? With that green screen guy?
Yeah,
Is that the voice changer or is it
No.
a Puppet Master?
that's a Puppet Master.
Puppet Master. Okay, gotcha. So my first question for you is, you have lots of bungee heads, and they are extremely popular in the haunted attraction industry. And I wanted to know, when did you create it, and how do you think up having the elastic band with the foam head?
So let's see. HauntCon 2016, I volunteered because the person who was doing a life casting class, his model didn't show up, and I knew him, and he came up to me and he goes, "Hey, you just sat for a life cast, so you can do it. Do you want to sit in my class for me?" I'm like, "I'm kind of working this booth, with VFX. When is the class?" "Well, it's like a half hour before the show ends." "You're gonna do a live cast in a half hour?" "Okay, Pat, I'm gonna go do a live cast." "Okay." So
Cool.
yeah, I basically what really talked me into that part was, "Oh, you get a free life cast of silicone, for your head." I'm like, "Okay, I'll take a free silicone life cast." But then I had a silicone life cast in my head, and I was thinking, I don't want to just make severed heads. People make those. That's boring. And we had just gone to Knott's Berry Farm in 2016,
Which was awesome.
and there was a clown walking around with a little bungee ball. And he's walking around just scaring people with it. And as I'm sitting there, literally with my head in my hands, I thought of that, and I go, head bungee head. And so I sat there and looked it up because I've been going to Transworld and other shows since 2017. 2007. Sorry, 2017, 2007, and hadn't seen anybody that had that. Looked it up, couldn't find anybody that had one. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna put a bungee inside this head. And by Transworld is 2017, because that was HauntCon 2017. We went to Not Scary Farm in 2016. Yeah, we had the prototype of the bungee head. I did a regular head and a clown, and it was my head, and they sold. So that's kind of the story behind bungee heads. They were fun. They, very effective because you throw them at people and they're scared, and then the rest of their friends laugh at them. So everyone's entertained. So yeah, bungee heads, bungee props, because now we have pumpkins, and there was a rock for a little bit that we stopped making. So we might revisit that at some point.
Nice.
There's some other stuff in the works, but at this point, I think there's like 30 different versions of the bungee head. So
Well, yeah,
Here
you
we
got
are,
tons of them.
hundreds of bungee heads later.
and I make them start to finish. When at one point the guy doing it closed my nostril in, and luckily Pat came in right after the show, and the life cast class was running a little long, and I'm just going. And Pat comes up and gets the silicone off my nose because I couldn't see what I was doing at that point because my face was covered. I'm like, well, at least Pat wants me to stay alive.
Oh man.
So my friend George, who was closing my nose in, he didn't care so much, but
He was busy.
he was busy. I was actually telling class different things of what not to do during a live cast. He was learning how to use this giant silicone gun to put the silicone on from Smooth On. He was very pleased with all the toys he got to play with.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Nice. So out of all the different customizations you have for the attack line puppets, what is your favorite out of all of them? Because you have lots of different options.
Mine is still Sally. She is, for me, still the funnest one to to puppeteer at shows, and we can, she's very versatile. You can do a lot with her. And Psycho, which is, that's them right back there. Yeah, they just, I guess those are our two of our first ones, and they still get a lot of attention, and especially Psycho with his laugh. Which,
if you people didn't know, we're the voices of all of our puppets as well, and we do it start to finish.
We do have, we have over 24 now, 24 different puppets, I believe.
We've retired some. Billy the Silly Zombie was fun, but he never sold because he was more of a family-friendly one. But he would say stuff like, "I would like some of those brains! Yum, 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 brains!" That was...
I couldn't believe he sold. He did not.
He was on the news. We actually took him to a local
Really?
news station one day, and they were promoting something with Marlon Wayans in it as a haunted house movie, and they had us on afterwards, but had our props in there during the Marlon Wayans interview. And then afterwards, Billy the Silly Zombie sang the brain song, which is brain, 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 brain. Come on, everybody, you know the words. And my sister-in-law decided to tell me later, or inform me, that her kids then would run around the house singing the brain song.
Oh no!
Because they saw Uncle Doug on the news with Billy the Silly Zombie singing the brain song. So,
Very catchy.
Yeah, he was fun. Surprisingly, then we had one of those stolen after Transworld. It wasn't the puppet; it was a standee we made, and we took to several shows and actually had it at another booth because they were using it to promote stuff. And I don't remember what year it was. It's been 2015, 16, 2015 or 16. And we kind of forgot it was at that booth. And when we went back to go get it, it disappeared.
Yeah.
And so someone out there has it, or it ended up in the dumpster. But, you know, there was wanted posters out there, or what was it? Missing posters. And he was on a milk carton and
Oh yeah.
made the rounds for a while.
So I have another question for you. How's the haunt industry reacted to your new Christmas themed products?
We've sold some.
Yeah.
There's some haunts that did Christmas, and then other haunts that started doing Christmas that found our props at the other haunt. So they literally ordered the exact same thing that they saw at the other haunt. So it's weird because you take them to a haunt show and nobody's thinking about Christmas in May because they're not sure if they're going to have a season or whatever. So then we're deep in production in November, and they're like, or in October, and they're like, we're going to have a Christmas show. Okay, yeah, we got time. That's fine. We'll get that done for you. Which we usually do by that time. It's not that big a deal, but it's like, we had those in May, or we had those in March. You could have ordered in March, so we get them done for you earlier. You know, we're not scrambling to find costumes for it, you know, whatever. It's not a big deal. We actually ordered extra parts, so we had them, and kind of anticipating some of the sales. So it isn't, you know, it's definitely not our biggest chunk of our business, but, you know, it's gotten bigger each year we've had it, I guess.
One thing we found doing all the shows was that whatever you're puppeteering and whatever you're showing is that seems to be what sells, because there's so many people at the shows that come by, and their attention, there's so much going on at these shows, their attention goes to what you're doing, and they're oblivious to anything else in the booth. Even when you go, oh yeah, all these are puppets back here, and like, oh really? And you know, you're
just like Sally here that I'm doing. Yeah, that's Psycho. He does the same thing.
Yeah.
You know,
when we came out with our Christmas stuff,
we weren't pushing it either.
Yeah.
We had it because people started having Christmas seasons, but we weren't sitting there. Here's our Christmas box. Here's our Christmas box.
I think part of it was Transworld added the Christmas show that year. So it sounded like more and more vendors were going to go ahead and put some Christmas stuff together. That kind of pushed us because we had some ideas, but that
we had a happy Christmas box. We didn't have just a scary one. So yeah, a little teddy bear that came out and giggled. Make one. Somebody wants a giggling teddy bear coming out of a box. He's upstairs. He's in the loft at the studio. Every once in a while, I can hear him giggle.
This actually perfectly ties into my next question. So how many of the family-friendly style puppets do you sell compared to the normal ones that are scarier for the haunt industry?
Way less.
Way less. And it's funny because there's certain shows where we get a lot of people asking if we have family-friendly stuff. So we start making family-friendly stuff.
Other than dinosaurs.
Yeah, the dinosaurs actually, are crate creatures actually sell pretty good.
Okay,
but you know, we came out with a family-friendly scarecrow.
Yeah, the pig, right? You have the pig?
Oh, the pig,
yeah.
Which we did bring to HauntCon, and that got a lot of attention at HauntCon 2019, the last show we had before everything, you know, stopped.
Yeah. And it made a lot of people laugh.
It was either they loved the pig or they were like, why is this pig here? We've done a farm show before as well for Agritainment. And, you know, we bring zombies there and they're like, why is the zombie here? Like, well, it was either, why is the zombie here? Or, oh, I heard Sally, I had to come see her, because they already had a haunt at their farm and they knew what she was. So that was the two different things. It's like we did a farm show, we do theme park shows, and the dinosaurs sell really well at the theme park show. And we bring dinosaurs to Transworld sometimes, and people are like, "Hey, dinosaurs, that's cute." I have no need for a dinosaur. It's a haunt show, so it's the whole thing of we make it all start to finish, so we can kind of make anything. And then it's like, okay, what other industry can we try to sell to during the off season? And it's like, we'll make it, but it's like we still push haunt as still our biggest category, I'd say.
Yeah.
And then the family friendly stuff is just when you have a family friendly haunt, I guess. And even then, we sell Sally, and there's like, okay, just don't put any blood on her. Or one time we literally made the cheek that's cut out of her, like she's got a big old chunk out of her cheek, and we filled it in because they didn't want to have, the gory stuff. It was just a zombie, but no wounds or blood or anything like that. We're like, okay, we can do that.
Nice. So what were your favorite moments at the Transworld Haunt Show over the years?
One of mine was I had my birthday falls in March, and was that last? That was 2019.
Nope. Yep.
When Doug and
Ed
Edmonds and
Drew Badger and Ed Douglas from Midnight Syndicate.
Yeah, they all sang happy birthday to me,
Nice.
like really loudly and very dramatically.
And then Ed gave me crap and told me to sing better. Ed Edmonds.
That was pretty awesome.
I was like, I sing funny. I don't sing for singing well. Sometimes.
But for me, I'd have to say when this all started, when I took an idea, I had the idea for the zombie puppet, threw this prototype together, spent the money for a booth at Transworld, was inspired by when Distortions had their show making monsters. That inspired me to, I'm really going to give this a try. And went there with this literally just kind of a crappy looking puppet. It had a sound system that you couldn't even hear.
I didn't know there was a sound system.
Yeah, nobody did. And we sold like 10 of them based on this crappy prototype. And then
I technically wasn't working for him then.
Yeah, that's true. But then I pulled him in to help make these 10, but it was like after I went back and I resculpted everything and redesigned the body like 20 times and got it to where it was like, okay, this is a product now. This is cool and I'm happy with it. And we got those done, shipped those out, and then these people were coming back with phone calls and texts and emails just going, oh my God, this is amazing.
It looked way better than the prototype.
Way.
Like I came into the shop and said, what's that? He goes, that's the puppet. I said, that's not the one you sold. He's like, oh, I resculpted. I'm like, well, that looks way better. 2013 is going to be awesome year because that was 2012. Yeah. He didn't believe me. But it blew up in 2013.
Yeah, that's what I was getting at was after that we had, we put Sally, he took Sally and made her into Psycho and a clown. And then we had a werewolf and the Hobgoblin, and we had Half Zombie Bob. And those were the 5 at the next show in 2013. And that's when it just, my head was spinning.
But Hobgoblin was called Cornholio then.
That's
I took pictures with people from Face Off and they said, oh, I love your Cornholio. I said, yeah, I need to change that name.
Yeah.
But that Transworld 2013, when everything just kind of like blew up for my company, I was just like, I don't know. I was like, dizzy couldn't believe how many orders and how much attention the puppets were getting. And we had to start the last day of the show, we had a waiting list because I was like freaking out, thinking, how are we going to get all these puppets made?
I still wasn't working full time for him.
No.
And in fact, that last day of that show, 2013, I went to go work a beauty pageant. I was a videographer for a beauty pageant, so I didn't work that Sunday. Then I found out later they had a waiting list. I'm like, why didn't you take orders? Because I didn't know how it was going to work. Okay.
We had a lot of orders. Did not have everything figured out. But yeah, it all came together. But that one to me was like pretty staggering as far as like what an incredible memory and what an incredible show that was to really launch this company. And then he got pulled in full time, and then he keeps coming up with, he came up with the Banshee box, the lunging Jack in the Box, the Bungee Heads. Did you do the
New Norse, the alien,
yeah, New Norse, the alien puppet
the Thing,
from The Thing, or inspired by The Thing?
helped come up with the crate creatures. Sculpted X-46, which was the first one that grabbed onto the crate and looked like he was holding the crate while he's attacking and stuff.
Still my favorite.
Just still fun.
But,
Yeah, my favorite Transworld moment was that same show, 2013, because I didn't take the clown off basically the entire show.
Oh, wow.
And then by the end of Saturday, which was my last day, because I went and worked a beauty pageant the next day, that's when we discovered, oh, you can lay down with the puppets and just let them attack you. So literally just fell in front of the booth and just laid there. And there's pictures and videos of people coming up and just swarming this person on the floor with a clown attacking him. And I'm just laying there with my eyes closed, twitching my leg every once in a while.
Yeah, I was at the other end of the booth. I was at the other end of the booth talking to somebody, and I turned around and see this crowd of people, and they all are like taking pictures and stuff. I'm like, what is going on? And I walked down, and because we had a table, I think, in the corner, and there's Doug laying there with Psycho. And so like, oh, that's great.
There's photo of me
Wonderful.
eating my lunch with Psycho on. I didn't leave it at all that time. I also actually like the Transworld that was in Las Vegas that kind of Transworld's not too happy about because kind of split up their show. But I went to that show as a buyer. I wasn't even selling stuff then, but I won a real coffin, and I won like an iPod, and it was Vegas. They were, they had all these contests, so I won a ton of stuff when I was in Vegas. So what else did I get? iPod, a GPS, like when your phone didn't have GPS. I had GPS units. That was 2008. Man, am I dating myself?
Yeah, like TomToms, right? Like,
Yeah, TomTom and Garmin, and yeah. I used to work for Office Depot. I used to sell all those things.
okay.
I was like, this one uses a 3-satellite star system, blah, blah, blah. Jonathan, when I was in Vegas, I didn't actually see him in concert or anything. He was at the show. So if you don't know who Amazing Jonathan is, look him up. That's where all my comedy comes from, and I didn't even know it.
Gotcha. How many UV style products do you create? Because I think they're a ton of fun, because 3D haunts seem to be really successful in the haunt industry.
Whatever ones you want me to put UV paint on.
Oh, really?
Does all of our painting.
So
It's a
I started doing, well, I did Psycho UV, but I did a Jack in the Box UV and stuff like that. And then I actually came up with kind of a mixture of paint that actually is a UV skin tone. So technically I can do a UV zombie. I did one for somebody that didn't want a cartoon one. It was just a low light UV because the UV itself wasn't cartoon bright. It was like skin tone, but it still glowed. So it wasn't like you were just hidden in black light. So technically all of them are UV capable. I'm trying to think of what wouldn't be, but the ones we advertise are usually the clowns, the ghost, any of the clown bungees, the Jack in the Box. I think that's the ones we've actually done. Pumpkin, UV pumpkins and jack-o'-lanterns. We got UV on those. I mean, the ones most people would think of would be clowns, and that's a lot of them that we have. Anything that's a zombie or human shape, I turn into a clown. I'm still saying we need to turn a werewolf into a clown, and then turn a mummy into a clown, and then clown wolf, vampire clown, and then we'll make him UV vampire clown werewolf. Yeah,
We need to make the Frankenclown.
Frankenclown.
Or you can make like the immortal, like your vampire immortal. You could change that into a clown.
Yep.
Yeah.
Ambrose the clown. He bites. He thinks it's hilarious.
That'd be funny. I saw a video on YouTube where one of your products was actually being used in a haunted house at Universal Studios Orlando, Slaughter Cinema. What's it like working with Universal Orlando?
I mean, they're kind of like anybody. I mean, we
Any parks,
yeah, it's like
they all have their purchase process and stuff like that. So it goes through a lot of people before they ever make a decision on something.
right.
And
But we see them at the shows,
Yeah.
especially like IAPA in Florida. has the big, you know, all the theme parks and stuff, but so does like Transworld too, and even HauntCon for that matter. But actually, you know, meeting face to face with people so they can see the products. And we had, what is it, Blackpool? What was that?
At IAPA?
Yeah.
Yeah, Blackpool Pleasure Island or something.
Yeah, man, they loved our stuff. And it's like 3 years in a row, I think. It came in and looked at everything and looked at everything. And then was just like, I want that and that and that and that and that and that. And just absolutely love our stuff. But it's really great to meet face to face with these people because they're just people and they've got a budget. And sometimes they'll ask, you know, for something specific, you know, like, can we get it this way? We're in Florida because we have like, you know, like our puppets come with a hoodie with a harness built in. And we've done a lot where we've changed some of those for people and to put them on shirts, put shirts on them so it's lighter. Or even just send them the harness that has the snaps built in so they can put it under their own costumes and stuff.
Nice.
But yeah, just dealing with them and building relationships has been nice. And, you know, we see them at the shows every year, and then, you know, it's just like we're on first name basis. So it's pretty nice.
And they're all different. It's weird because like Universal, each one of the parks is different because we actually have one in Singapore.
Yeah.
I think they were one of the first Universals that got stuff from us.
Yep.
Awesome.
Florida Universal and California Universal are two different teams. So you're talking to somebody completely different. Six Flags, when we do Six Flags, every single Six Flags has their own accounting department and separate
Like
budgets.
13 of those?
I think the first year we did Six Flags, it was like 9 to 13, something like that.
Yeah.
Different orders for different parks. They did a group buy, but it was like, okay, there's the PO from this park, and here's the PO from this park, and here's the PO from that park.
Yeah, that's the thing, is setting up, you know,
Counts and everything like
yeah.
that.
But it's nice that they come back and see what we have every year because they love our stuff.
It's not necessarily way more difficult than dealing with people that say, here's my money. It's just more steps involved.
Pretty much.
Small haunts. Okay, here's my credit card. I'm paying for it. All right, yay. Whereas, you know, theme parks, they have many people it goes through for approvals and stuff. So, yep.
So I'm curious, since you do the majority of the recordings, Doug, do you do all of them? You do all the recordings?
He does at least half of them, I'd say. There's ones where I don't have time or I'm painting and I'm like, we got a show. Okay, he's gonna go record something, and then I hear it the first time at a show.
Like
So
the piggy?
the pig, yeah. I don't think I heard the pig until that. You know, we went and did a video
Singing pig. Hey,
for
everybody sing.
what's the zombie pig? Rancid the
Rancid.
zombie pig. I didn't hear until we did a video of it, and I'm laughing behind the camera, trying not to shake the camera as I'm doing video of it.
I don't feel very good.
He's taking me someplace. Where are we going?
Where are we
Someplace
going?
fun. Someplace fun. I'm all the clowns. I'm all the clowns. I'm some of the weird creatures like X-46.
Yeah.
Pat's the rat. Pat's the zombie. I'm one of the zombies. I think I was Hans Deadman the zombie, because he would go from grunting and growling, and then all of a sudden, oh, I didn't see you there on that long line. Did you know you could have had the VIP pass for just $10 more? And it's just weird because it goes from grunting and growling to that. Chocles is a clown, so I do Chocles. Chocles Psycho. I do Lola, the girl clown. So yeah, you know. Hey, how do you make a juggler laugh? You tickle his balls.
Yeah.
My wife didn't know that was me when she heard the voice. I'm doing the female clown voice. We actually had a woman that was working with us, Sandy, and I had her do female clown voice for us. And no offense to her, everyone liked my voice better as the female clown. So I stayed as the female clown
I
voice.
think you said it better.
Well, when I'm sculpting or painting something and I'm coming up with stuff in my head, just like X-46, we had him in my hand. I'm looking in a mirror, and all of a sudden I'm just going and record it and modify that, and it was me as X-46 doing weird noises. So
Nice.
I also have like we did the Mortimer the ghost.
Yeah, the butler yeah.
Yeah, and that was we got a couple that were kind of Disney inspired, like Mortimer the ghost, and he's got kind of a
Hitchhiker ghost.
Yeah, kind of like that. But he's, God, I can't even think. Hello, my name is Mortimer. You know, and I, you know, we get in there, tweak it, and but the other one I like doing was Deadfield, the zombie butler, and I really was pushing it, trying to get that kind of Disney voice, and it came out okay in some parts. This is kind of like, actually, he's on the that sound system right there.
That's a chainsaw. That's not a ghost. Oh, that's not him. Oh, there he is.
And welcome. My name is Deadfield, and I will be taking very good care of you.
That's neither of us. That's not me either.
We do sound effects as well. Like
You just said doo-doo.
I did. Did you step in it?
We do.
But like we have
These are the jokes. This is as good as it gets.
had our what is our octopus guy?
Tentacles.
Tentacles is our octopus, you know, lab experiment gone wrong, and I really wanted to come up with some weird gurgling sounds for that, and I was like doing sound effects through a carpet tube and stuff, and tweaking it, and some of them came out pretty good, and but it's a lot of fun to do our own stuff.
Well, I'm curious, how often do you do custom voice recordings for companies? Because I know Field of Screams had a custom recording.
We tell people at the show usually when they, you know, if they're ordering, especially the ones that actually have dialogue, we tell them, you know, we can do a custom one for you if you want it to be specific. And it's like, we'll do the first one for free if you want to do multiples, and it's like $25 a track extra because it takes our time and stuff, and it's specific to their haunt and stuff. We've done custom ones for Psycho, and his mouth doesn't even move.
Yeah.
And
We did a Spanish one.
We did a Spanish one for Chocles, and it was, you know, when he tells you to leave your pants on, if you pee your pants or you poo your pants, it's deja la caca en los pantalones. So leave your poo in your pants. That's about the only line I remember anymore in Spanish. I took German, so I could cuss at you in German. That's about it. But yeah, Psycho and Hobgoblin actually are the same voice. They were the same laugh. We were going to do a new one for Hobgoblin, and people were like, no, I like that laugh, so we kept it. So they have the same voice when I do voices for them. I'm trying to think, because Hobgoblin and Psycho kind of sound like a British crypt keeper. And let me get no, I can't get into it. Hobgoblin's voice. Oh, hello. No, it's not. I can't think of it anymore. Oh, well, yeah, I don't remember.
All right.
My friends in the cold are hungry. That's the voice. There it is. I got there. There's certain lines I have to do to get into it. Like what's Chocles? It's usually I can usually do him without even thinking about it anymore. But
Where's my money?
no, his is usually imagine me and you. I do, and then I can just sit there and talk like Chocles the whole time. So.
Oh man.
Imagine me as a child. I just did voices all the time. There was a kid in my junior high class, and we finally did groups, and we were doing something, and I'm talking, and she looks at me and goes, "Is that your real voice?" I'm like, yes. Oh, you just never talk in normal voice, so I didn't know what your real voice was. I'm like, oh, okay. This is like by the end of the year. So
wow.
You know, she knew me for a year and didn't know what my actual voice sounded like. So that insight into this guy.
Nice. Okay.
When we're talking to people at the shows too, we're you know, we always tell them like with the moving mouth, you can have, you know, you can record whatever you want to on this Puppet Master sound system. And like if you're going to take the puppet out to another event and you want, you know, your puppet to say, hey, come on down to the haunted barn, and meet all my friends, you know, and then the lights light up in their head and I go, oh yeah. So it's like when we talk about promote, you know, using the products for promoting, which is huge too.
No, yeah, it's definitely great for parades too, because you can have it like with the shirt of your haunt, be like, here it is, and everyone's like, ooh, look, puppet. So,
Yeah, exactly.
And
so
if you aren't comfortable doing your own voices, because you can do it yourself and record it and put it on there. If you don't have a character voice, it's not going to sound fun. Because we've had some that people, you know, we did some work
What are
on
you talking
and
about?
stuff comes back and the character voice they use is, hey, did everyone have a good time? Yeah. Don't forget your bounce back coupon. And we got it back and couldn't stop laughing because that was the voice they put onto the
Oh my
puppet. For
God.
like, you know, for $25, we would have done the character and you could have had it. Anyway, every once in a while when we're at shows, we'll look at each other and I'll just say, don't forget your bounce back coupon.
Oh my gosh.
Little inside jokes. Now everyone else can know and they can come up to me and say, don't forget your bounce back coupon. And I'll just laugh at them. And
Nice.
now we're all in on it. We're all in on
Right.
that joke.
Cool.
The severed zombie head from 2013 that went to Walker Stalker Con.
Awesome. All right. Everybody get ready for a scare. Nice. Awesome.
Oh.
Okay, awesome.
We got, you know, we got things like, you know, caution, keep back 5 feet, and hopefully this is going to help people take care of their stuff. If we
Mhm.
put this notes on here, do not yank open and do not slam shut. That's something we just added.
Awesome.
He's sleeping.
Nice.
Yes, that's all my voice.
Awesome. That's a great finale. Oh, nice. There's more. Awesome.
Here's some of the sound effects.
That's the Tentacles voice as well. That's us doing audio through a carpet tube into a microphone.
That's super neat. That's really cool. I really like that one. I shared that on my Instagram story when you guys posted a teaser of it, of like the boomerang of like opening and closing. That was super neat.
That was in the works for Transworld last year when it didn't happen, and it just sat in the paint booth for the year until I got back to it and said, all right, I'm going to finish sculpting this for this year. Then I just kept adding parts to it. So it's like 4 or 5 molds and like 9 pieces of mold to make it. And it's cheaper than most of our puppets.
Awesome. So that was the Haunt Informer. Hope you all enjoyed. And until next time, happy hauntings.
Boogity boo!
See ya.